Unfortunately, this game is poorly optimized for ray tracing. As an old game with very low polygons and textures, it's running terribly and much worse, 10 frames a second worse than the most current newest games with much higher detailed textures and models. There we're getting 40 to 45 frames here with everything disabled. As you can see here, I have disabled anti-aliasing, global illumination, reflection bounces only to 1, caustics are off, God rays are off, bloom is off, denoiser is off, textures are off, thick glass refraction is off. Everything is off, and watch how horrible the screen is and watch the frames we are getting. That is it, guys. This is how poorly optimized this game is for ray tracing. Even with all this turned off, it still only manages to get 33 frames a second. Now let's turn those back on and see what the frames are. Alright, so back in the menu, let's turn some things on here. Anti-aliasing, yes, we obviously want that. Global illumination, we can leave that off. Let's leave off everything except for denoiser, which is obviously those little grains you saw in the previous clip, and we can add our textures back in. We can leave everything off for now. Other than that, there alone, guys, we lost 12 frames just by turning textures and anti-aliasing on. I mean, it's sorry, but it's poorly made. Look at the rudimental geometry that you see here. I mean, let's even go further and just turn some things on. Turn bloom, God rays, caustics on. Let's set global illumination. Let's just crank everything up. Let's say, okay, we can leave refraction bounces on 1 for now, and we can leave the refraction glass. So let's see what we get now. Hey man, 13 frames a second. Come on, Bethesda, you can really do better. I mean, look how good you did with Wolfenstein Youngblood. It is absolutely amazing. And that runs at 40 to 60 frames with ray tracing. And you can't get this to run. Unfortunately, no, this is a no-go. Then let's turn thick glass refraction on. And then let's also put this to 2, which was the default. And that's it. Yeah, still 13 frames a second. So those don't seem to have too much of a impact on it. But as you can see, if I play through this now, it's lagging to no end. Look at this. It's terrible. So yeah, I unfortunately cannot recommend this as a ray tracing game. It's just not. They need to put more work into it. Obviously, this is kind of, I suppose, it's just a little test for them. But if they're going to release it on Steam, I mean, put some proper effort into it and make it run nicely. Because I know you can. You did it with Wolfenstein. There's no reason you can't do it here. Alright guys, so you can see that ray tracing is enabled. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable the textures. The reason I'm doing this is so that you can actually see, without the textures in the way, where ray tracing lighting is actually happening, as well as the reflections. So let's play this quickly. As you can see, obviously the frames per second are horrid once more, but now you can actually see the ray tracing of the guy. You see his shadow at the back there as he was walking, and this guy as well. You can see on the floor the ray tracing lights, and obviously as we shoot, the whole environment's lighting up, which looks pretty cool, but unfortunately the frames per second just doesn't do it justice. These are obviously real-time lights. Bethesda just haven't optimized this at all. Here we can see again as my ray gun goes through the environment. And there's another little guy. Let's kill him quickly. And these hitboxes are terrible. Okay, let's kill this guy quickly so we can run through here. Alright, so here is some water. So as you can see, it is reflecting the environment. It's basically not taking much of a hit from our frames per second, even though we are looking at water here, which is weird because in games like Wolfenstein, as soon as you come to the reflection areas, obviously the frames drop. And here's the same. We're actually getting better results here than outside, weirdly enough. I'm not sure why that is, because this enclosed environment should actually leave you with worse performance. Okay, I don't think there's anything in here, but anyway, it's a nice example of the reflections. Let's go out here. And now, where is that exit? Here we go. Alrighty. Sorry, I haven't played this since I was a youngin', a wee lad. Alright, so let's go out here. I think it might be the global illumination that's actually causing the frames to drop. So here we can see on the gun itself, as the light goes over it, you can see as I step in here how the light changes. Okay. But all these, what you see over here is actually displacement. So this is actually just, it's faking the tiles you see here. There isn't actually geometry to it. It's called Displacement Map. It's actually just a texture. Let's kill this little juggernaut guy. Okay, off with your head. Oh no, another one. Okay. You're killing my explanation here. Oh man, you killed me. How? Your head was off. So I made it to the next level. I won't lie to you, I died a few times. But I just basically want to show, I want to get to some reflections of the walls and stuff. See if we can get there. Wow, how first-person shooter games have improved in terms of hitboxes and realistic movement. Anyway guys, let's take a quick look at the scene. So you can see that light, that blue light coming through the doors here. So I think they've just basically turned every light on in the scene without doing any proper baking, and that's what's causing the very low frames per second here. You can see all the types of, so there's shadows, 1, 2, 3 shadows alone here, plus this one, so that's 4 lights already in the scene. So right, so as I was saying, there are about 4 lights in the scene already, and they clearly aren't optimized, and it's killing the frame rate. There is a, I mean, yeah, as you can see, look at the stuff as I pick it up. Even that's got textures on it. You can see, or shadows. You can even see my shadows here. So this game basically has real-time shadows and real-time ray tracing reflections. As I mentioned in my Call of Duty Modern Warfare review or benchmark review, they are only using real-time shadows, not reflections, and then Wolfenstein uses reflections only. So these guys are basically just throwing everything at our graphics card, and this is the result. So for basically at this point in the game, if you are on a 2070 Super like I am, each one of those ray tracing iterations, in other words shadows and reflections, is going to cost you about 20 frames a second. So this game would normally run at 60 frames a second if it were a new game, and then obviously if you throw ray trace reflections into it, it's going to come down to 40 frames a second, and if you throw ray trace shadows into it, it's going to come down another 20 frames. So that's why we're sitting here at about 15 to 20 frames a second, because these guys are basically just throwing everything at this. Regardless of how low res the geometry is, your GPU is going to take a hit. So here you can see how much lighting is actually going on here. All kinds of colored lighting, red lighting. Trouble here again. Jeez, this game is so difficult. Alright, so I finally cleared those guys out. One thing I noticed is look where my cursor is for my gun, and look where it shoots. It's like totally skew. No wonder I keep missing everything. I mean, geez. Okay, anyway, so here we are in an outdoor scene. As you can see, we're still at 18 frames a second, but this is where global illumination kicks in, and it's actually lighting the scene. So, geez, you can't have a break with this game just to explain a bit of ray tracing, can you? So you actually have to fire next to the guy to its left, or to his right, in order to... Jeez, can you stand still? god. I definitely don't miss this type of gaming. It's insane. Anyway, alright, so as I was saying, so there is one light source coming there, the sun, and then the rest is being lit by global illumination. Oh, once one guy dies, another one just comes out of nowhere. Okay. Oh, this is exhausting. This is the most exhausting ray tracing benchmark video I've ever tried to make. Okay, yeah, so here we are with some... Are there reflections here? Okay guys, this is basically impossible to show you without constantly fighting. Okay, but you basically get the gist of it. I would have just liked to show some like window reflections. Because obviously we got floor and water reflections, yeah. But no windows. Okay, so here's the outside again. So let's go up here. But I guess it's a good demo to show kind of there's some reflections and some much needed health. That was actually me. So yeah, 100% reflections. You can see me in this mirror here, and my head there. So basically, Bethesda just threw everything at this little demo that they could. Zero optimization, and this is the result. Unfortunately, the frames per second take a hit. So you can see how the new titles definitely have more attention. Obviously, they're just doing this for a bit of research and fun. So it is what it is, but I wouldn't recommend this game as a ray tracing title. And just like that, guys, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, hit that like button, and if you didn't, smash it twice to tell me how angry you are. Don't forget to pop the subscribe button as well as ring the bell icon to get notified of any future videos. Oh, and check this little video out. You can also subscribe over here. And this video is pretty cool too.